Hi, I'm Stuart from SB Leadworks. Welcome to the next job. Let's go and have a look, see what it's all about. Okay, so we've got a really nice one, probably for the next few days, I should imagine, or weeks. I don't know how long these are going to take. So I've got to lead these 3 dormers. I've already just started getting the front aprons in. I've got a load of them all knocked up on that bench over there. A little bit tricky because the roofers have had to get on, so they've just slated it all in without the aprons being here. I don't know if there was no lead workers available at the time or what's happened, but they've tried to help me out. They put a little bit of a slate in there to kick that slate up, just so I've got a bit of room to get the aprons in, and I've just put that one in there, and actually, do you know what, it actually went in really easily. So hopefully I haven't just spoken too soon. So I'm just in the process at the moment. I'm just gonna get all these front aprons in, and once I've done that, what I should do then is clad the side of these cheeks and get the jambs in. I've got to make some saddle details as well. We come up here, just where this cladding piece here just goes into the roof. That's what I'm going to have to do. I think I'm going to have to probably take that soaker off, take that slate out. I'll cut a new soaker in there. Whoever's done that, I don't know, but it's not enough of an upstand in there, so I'll cut a higher soaker right up to that point in there. Then I'm going to make it like a lead saddle detail in there, but that'll be much later on in the video, because first thing I'm going to do is get all those aprons in, get all these cheeks cladded with head flashings and stuff, and then I can have a look at this top cladding section and all these saddles in those corners. And then also all of these roofs, they're all lead as well. I might break that into a separate video, I don't know, it just depends how long this video gets. But for now, let's start just getting all these aprons in. Okay, so that's all these front aprons fitted now. I just need to trim them all through, and I just need to weld all the gussets in where they turn into the window openings. What I'm going to do is I'm going to leave that for the time being, so I need to get some part rolls which I'll use for those gussets. So I'll leave all that welding for the moment. What I'm going to do now, I think, start getting all these cheeks on, starting with this one here. Okay, so just setting out these cheeks now. As you can see, I've got some building paper on there now. I've also marked where my welts are going to be. I'm using 600 wide lead for this. So what I've done is I've just measured 25mm past that edge, come back to where 600 is, then come back in 25 and then 50, and that's where my welt's going to be. Then I just measured from that point there down to that point right down there, got my measurement, done exactly the same, an inch in from there to there, and I just transferred that onto building paper. And I've repeated the process for that second cheek as well. I haven't made the third one up yet, that little tiny cheek in there, but what I have done is I have put a different soaker in there now, so that goes right up to the top, so I've got a lot more weathering in that corner now. So I've just been down and I've just made up all of these cheeks all in one go. So I'm pretty confident that they should be pretty similar from just measuring that one cheek. All the rest of these dormers should be the same within 5-10mm. But because I've got a separate head flashing on these, I can afford to trim them a little bit. So I've just got them. Just got all these cheeks all made up. I've oiled them on both sides, ready for tomorrow, just so that can dry now, and they're not going to be all slippery when I'm trying to fit them. So they're all done. Just made a load of clips there as well, and just oiled them on both sides. Probably make a few more of those. And then just need to cut some copper, and then we'll start getting this on. Okay, so it's now day 2. I've already made a good start getting all these dormer cheeks on. That side's completely done. Got that side in there as well. So what I'm going to do now is just get this third side on here. Okay, so let's do this. Okay, so what I'm going to do first is I'm going to mark out where my welts are going to go. So I measure 600 back, 25 and 50 in. That's where the welt's going to be. So put a level line down there. Okay, so then I need to measure 25 mil further than that mark there. Come back 600. And I've got 25 and 50 again. That's where the next welt's going to be. Just a rough mark where so I can get my clips into position. I've already made up all these panels, which hopefully they will fit. They might need a little bit of adjusting. Right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put the clips on, 150 mil either side of the welt. I have one there, one there. So I got a lot of these made up yesterday, with them on both sides as well, so they've had a chance to dry. It's nice having this scaffold lift in here, but to be honest, it's gone in a little bit too premature. It's right in the way at the moment for these dormer cheeks, especially when I put these jams on. It's going to be real tricky. Luckily, I am a little bit flexible. Right. Let's go down, get that clip down there. Oh, Jesus. Okay. That's that. See what I mean? It's right in the way, that scaffold lift, but it will come in handy when I do the lead tops. Grab a panel. Just going to trim a little bit off it to make it a bit easier to go in, hopefully. And I'm back. Sorry about that, I just had to cut a little bit off. See what this one fits like. Ooh. Oh, wanted to fold then on me, didn't it? No, you don't. That is spot on. Happy with that. Right, let's get some copper in that well. Not sure if I've got any cut. No, don't think I have. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to notch a little bit of this welt out. Just a few mil. I just do this so that when I set the next panel in, the copper won't be visible. Another one further down. Obviously, you need to make sure you don't go down too low because you don't want to go through the soakers. That'll be about right, I think. the next clips on, 150mm past the welt. There. One there. Sounds healthy. Where are we? Are we up? Right, let's see what the second panel's like. Okay. Might need a bit of adjustment, let's see. Because I made all these up, measured off the first dormer, so it might be slightly out. Angle looks good. I'll take a bit off the top, I think. Yeah, I need to take a bit off the top. We've got a separate head flashing on these, so we've got a bit of play. Okay, that should in fact, you know what? I think I'm going to change the angle slightly as well. Yeah, it's about 10mm out. See what that's like. That's better. Okay, so I'm just gonna put some fixings in there, put a bit of copper on there, get that last cheek in, then we can set the welt in. Okay, so that's the rest of those panels on there now. Just setting those welts as well. I'm just in the process now of just putting this head flashing on. So what I need to do now is I just need to trim all of these clips to 50mm. And take the corners off as well. Put a bit of patination oil on behind the clips. It can be dressed up now, leaving a 5mm expansion gap, like 5-6mm, something like that. Okay, that's that side done. Okay, so now that side's done, what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to repeat the process. I'm going to get that side on, and that side on. Okay, so that's all those other cheeks on there now. Done this last side as well. So now all those cheeks are all finished. What I've been doing now is I've just been trimming up these aprons. Just got this one all trimmed up. And dressed the clips as well. Just left a 6mm expansion joint on all of those clips. I've actually just trimmed that second one as well, though I still need to dress the clips on that one. What I'm going to do in a minute is just finish trimming those aprons. Then I'm going to start looking at getting these apron corners welded in. Okay, so that's all those aprons all trimmed up now. Clips trimmed as well. Just in the process of just welding in these corners. I've just got all my gussets ready, just ready to weld in there. And you're going to weld up to 150mm. I don't need to come right up to there. 150mm, that'll be sufficient. This one's already welded in. Just finished welding these. So I'm just going to finish welding in those gussets. Then I can look at getting the jambs on. Okay, so I'm just in the process now of putting all these jambs on. What I've basically done is I've just put some building paper on the front of those. Then I just cut some pieces of lead at 1.4 meters, bent 110mm as like a 90°. Then just fix them into position. Left them slightly short from the top. I've just got a separate head flashing going in, which I've just done that one there. If I was doing this job right from the beginning, I probably would have just taken that jam right up without any head flashing on, but somebody else started this job, so I'm just trying to keep things uniform with what they've done before. So what I'm going to do now is just finish getting all the head flashings on the rest of those jams. Okay, so I'm just in the process now of just doing this last head flashing on this jam. Some snips. Just going to trim them clips to 50mm. Okay, so that's those all done. Okay, so I've got this first dormer already completed. Second phase done. So what I've done is I've just made a saddle first, where that ply stepped out to whether that corner. As you can see, I've got a cover flashing over the slate there as well. Then I've just cladded these sides. So what I'm going to do now is move on to this second dormer. So we'll get this one stripped off and start having a proper look at it. Okay, so I've just stripped off all this plastic sheeting now, so we can have a proper look, see what's going on with this. So my first stage, I'm going to create a saddle to begin with, which is going to come down on these slates here, probably to around there somewhere. It's going to come up there, out through there, up onto this ply here. Obviously it's going to step out here. We're going to have like a corner here as well, and it's going to come right up here. And then once that's in, I'll put a soaker on the slate, and then the cover flashing over the top. So let's start making up this saddle first. Okay, so I've just cut a piece of lead 300 by 390. I've marked 120mm there, I've marked 150mm down there. I've just taken my angle from that there. I'm just going to transfer that into that position there. It's about there. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to cut down that line there, cut all the way up there, and I'll fold that bit up, fold that up, and then I'll have a nice little weld through there. So I'm just going to get that done now. Okay, so that's that saddle all made up there now. That's what's going to happen now. So I'm going to oil that on both sides. Then that's going to go into position there. And what that does, that's just going to weather that corner there so that no water can go into the roof. So that'll go on there. I'll fix that into position. And then we'll be looking at putting a soaker and the slate onto that, followed by a bit of cover flashing. Then we can start looking at the cladding. Okay, so that's that saddle detail all in there now. I've slated that back in as well. Put a little bit of cover flashing over the top of that as well. So I'm just in the process at the moment of just getting this cladding on. So I've just nailed on a continuous copper strip through there, 25mm lower than the ply. Got some building paper in place there. I've just got my panel there, just cut to the angle of the roof, ready to go. So I'm going to get that on, then I'll repeat the process on the other side. Okay, so let's get this prepped up. First thing I'm going to do is just make sure there's no nails at the proud. I can already see quite a few. These have been fired in with a nail gun, and you can just see if you put lead straight onto there, it's just going to pierce through. Should really be countersunk. Too bad. Right. What I'm going to do now is just nail continuous copper strip through that front edge. Just going to do it 25mm lower than this edge here. Just give us a drip. Let's take that one off the side. It should be in the right place. feeling this one's going to be a bit bouncy. Not too bad. Right, that's me out of nails, so I just need to go down and get some more nails. And I'm just going to continue on getting all that copper all the way through to the edge, to the end there. Okay, so that's that copper continuously nailed through there now, 25mm lower than that ply. Let's just see it. Just see that all the copper's all the way through there. As you can see, I've just put some building paper on there as well now. I just put a welt bang in the middle. So now we're all set out. Let's get that panel knocked up and on there. Okay, let's get this one knocked up. 1 metre 480. It's got to go that way a little bit. Square that off. I'm gonna find my square. There, right in front of me. Get that down out of the way. So I need to allow 25mm fold. 25mm for my hook welt there. Cut that out. You have to cut this lead down as well. See what it needs to be. Cut down to 335. 335. I just need to get one more measurement. Three, 385. Flip that over. Just knock up a 25mm. I'm just going to get a bit of patination oil on that now. Dress that to the square, not too tight because I want to be able to get it in the copper quite easily. But obviously anything you can do on the bench is generally quicker than doing in position. That's that. Just knock up that 25mm welt. Getting a bit more patination oil in there. Okay, that is now ready to go in. Okay, let's see what it goes in like. I'm expecting this to be a bit of a pickle because it's quite difficult to hold it up in the copper on your own and nail it at the same time and make sure it's lined up with the welt as well. And the fact it's been oiled on the underside makes it a bit slippery. So let's let's have a go at this. Okay. Ooh. Right. That's where that wants to be. Yeah, it's going to be a bit of a pickle, I thought so. I think if I get it lined up in the welt first, which is there, I'll try and get a temporary fix in there. Oh, that went down, didn't it? Right, we're good for the welt. So at least it's where it needs to be. Just need to make sure it's fully up now. Be able to tell from that one there actually as well. There we go. Get a little temporary fix in there as well. Hit the join of the two pliers. Okay, to drop that down a little bit more. Something like that. Do you know what? That's not bad at all. Get one in there. We're on position. It's looking, the welt's looking square with my line. I just want to get a level on that underside just to make sure that's looking good. Before I go too mad nailing that up. Yep. We are spot on there. Quick, nail her up. Let's find the join there. I'm just going to do that for now. I'll get a few more in later when I work out how wide the batten is that's going on there. I don't don't want to get too many in there at the moment. I think I'm using a slate batten as a drip edge for that, which will give me 50 ml. I need to make sure first. Right, so that's all nailed up now. I do now just get a little bit of copper in that welt. Oh, there's a bit right there, look. Just gonna notch that out a little bit there. Okay, so that's that one in. What I'm going to do now is I'm just going to repeat the process and get that second panel in there. Okay, that's that second panel in there as well now. To be honest with you, that one was easier. I think the fact that you can actually hook it into that one, it does make it easier. It just doesn't slide around as much. So now that one's in, what I need to do now, I need to dress in that central welt there, dress in these two side welts, got the one here and one on the other side, get them turned round, give it a bit of oil, and that'll be this phase complete. Okay, so that's those welts turned over and that central one dressed in there now. I've also just given that all a coat of patination oil. So that is now job done. Still need to repeat the process on that third dormer, but I'll do that one tomorrow. So that'll be it for this phase. Then we can start getting the tops on in the next phase. Okay, so I've just uncovered this second dormer top. So the first thing I'm going to do is get this drip batten fixed round. Okay, so that's that drip batten nailed round now. What I had to do is just had to notch it out with all the welts. I don't know if you can see that, but I just cut that out so that the batten sits back flush. So now that drip batten's all on, what I'm going to do now is fix this copper strip round. Okay, so that's that copper strip all nailed on there now. So now that's done, what I'm going to do next is going to get all these tools off of here. I'm just going to go over this just to make sure that there's no nails or anything sticking up. The last thing you want to do is put the building paper down, put the lead down, and then realise there was a nail sticking up, punch of the lead. Believe me, I've been there before. So I always take time to make sure that there's no nails sticking up. There's a little bit of one there, solid. So I'll just go over that just to make sure there's no nails. Get some building paper on there, then we can start setting out some wood. Okay, so that's that building paper on there now. And I've just got most of this wood on as well. It's all set out. I've just got this last piece of wood to screw down there. So let's get that one done. Okay, so let's get this last piece of wood on. I've picked the most bendiest bit of wood roll I think I could find. So I've got a nice straight line there to go to. It's actually twisted as well. Right, let's see what we can do with it. Okay, so that's that last piece of wood roll fixed into place. So now that's all on, what I'm going to do now is just repeat the process on that last dormer. Then that'll be all 3 dormer tops ready to roll, and we start getting some lead on, probably starting with that one down there. Okay, so that's all the timber on this last dormer top now. Now I was going to start on that far one down there, but I thought actually it probably makes sense to start on the one that I've actually uncovered. Otherwise I'm going to weather this one back in and then uncover that one. So just making work for myself. So I might as well just start with this one. So I'm just going to go down, cut some lead, start getting these in. Okay, so I'm doing all right. I'm just getting these bays on now. So I've got these 3 in here now. I'm just going to start knocking up this back one here. A few people in the comment section want to know how I cut this going up the roof. I'm just going to show you. All I do, just get a bevel to the angle of the roof. And I've got my piece of lead here, it's already cut to size. So I've marked 75mm for the undercloak. I've got 55mm for going on to the roll. Normally it'd be 75, but because we've got a ridge cap, you only need to take the lead to the halfway point of the roll. If you do 75, they'd both be overlapping and it'd be too much thickness there. So you only need to take it to the halfway point of the roll. So it's about 55mm on that. And then I've just measured from the undercloak to where it goes up the pitch of the roof. Got my chalk line through there. Then that angle, I just literally place that on there. And in a minute, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut straight down there. I'm going to bend that piece up. Then the undercloak, what I've done, so I've just marked, I think I'll do it 30mm. So I just get my tape measure out. Yeah, the undercloak I just mark 30mm. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut straight in there. I'm going to cut through there, and just like leave a little tag on there. So let's get this knocked up. Right, so let's get this one knocked up. Sorry, the camera angle isn't the best. I'll have to sack my videographer. Right, so all I'm going to do is just cut straight in there. And this one, cut straight in there. Cut that 30mm line, but not all the way to there, because you want to leave a little tag on there. Leave a little tag on there. Not sure how much of this is going to be in shot. I do apologise. I was trying to show those cuts at the back there. My hammer. I had a hammer. Oh, yep, don't give up a day job. So the sun's starting to make an appearance. Okay, so that is now ready to go in. Okay, so that's what those cuts look like once the bay's into position. So you just end up with a nice weld down there and another one around that roll there. So I'm just going to weld both of them up. I've already bossed over the undercloak. So I'll get those two cuts welded and start getting the other two bays in. Okay, so that's the last of these bays on there now. So that's all the bays on. What I've got to do now is just get this last overcloak bossed over. Right, okay, so let's get this overcloak knocked over. Grab a few tools. It's time for a new rubber mallet. Got a nice big split in there. I use a 4952, which I find like quite a nice size, and they do actually last quite a long time. But this one is getting close to the end now. and that's that done. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to trim up these splash laps. I'm going to trim these to 50mm. What I would normally do is when they get to the end, I would usually sort of like splay them off a little bit and make that section bigger. But somebody else has already completed some lead work on this job and done some other dormer tops on the lower level, just down there. I've done all that front section there as well. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to make it match. So what I'll do is I'll just get a roofing square and just trim these off to 50mm. So I'm just going to go get this done now. Okay, so that's all these splash laps trimmed to 50mm now. So now that they're all trimmed, what I'm going to do now is start getting down this drip edge. Okay, so that's that side all dressed down now and turned up into the copper. So I'm just in the process now of doing this other side. So let's get this one done. Right, let's get this one turned round. So I've already dressed it down and I've just trimmed it 25mm lower than the copper strip. So I've got something to turn around underneath. So that's all trimmed. What I'm doing here is I'm just notching out where the lap is so you're not going to get 2 layers of thickness. Okay, let's get some heat on there. Get a bit of batten behind there, just that nice and tight. just sat a bit flat again. Okay, so that's all turned in there now. So what I'm going to do now is just repeat the process, get the front down. Okay, so that's all that front edge all dressed down now. Just trim that 25mm lower than the copper as well. But before I turn that, what I need to do is I need to get the ridge cap on, because then I'll be able to see how far I need to notch out with the lap. So I've got a load of clips here. I'm just going to weld these onto the bay, just 2 a bay, probably sort of like about 110 centimeters from the roll. So I'll get all those clips welded on and then start looking at getting this ridge cap on. Okay, so I've got all these clips welded onto the bay now. I've also just cut my first piece of lead for the ridge cap and just oiled that on the underside. So that's now ready to go on. Right, okay, so I've just sat this lead into position. And I've just cut out either side of the roll. And what I'll do later on, once it's all dressed in and trimmed, is weld some caps over those. So first thing we need to do is just get this all dressed in. Okay, so that's all dressed in now. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get the next piece on through there, get it all trimmed up, ready for the caps. Okay, so that's all that capping on there now. As you can see, it's all dressed in now. I've trimmed it as well, and I've just made the caps as well. That's what I'm going to do is just quickly just put some oil on the underside of all of these. Then they'll all be ready for welding in. Okay, so that's all those caps all welded in now. So now they're all done. What I've got to do now, I've just got to weld a front section onto this piece here, and I can start finishing this front edge. Get that front edge all finished, a couple of corners to weld, and I've just got to weld some ears in the back there as well. Okay, so that's all that front section finished now, all the way through there. Welded in these corners as well. They're all done. I've also welded in the ears at the back here. That's all finished. So now the only thing left to do now is just to trim these clips. I'm just going to trim these to 50mm, just leaving a 5mm expansion joint. So I'll get all these trimmed, then I can give it another coat of oil. Okay, so that's all oiled up now. So now that one's completely finished, what I'm going to do now is just repeat the process on the other two. Okay, so it's now a few days into the future, and things have warmed up here in the UK. I think it's roughly around 30 degrees at the moment. But as you can see, I've now got the other two dormer tops on as well. So now these 3 dormers are all finished, ready for the roofers to come in. So I hope you liked this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. You can check me out on Instagram at SOB Leadworks. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. Hopefully catch you in the next. Cheers.